Hello, my name is Jordan Adams. I'm a junior high school student in Tucson, Arizona, and this summer I plan on going to Japan to intern at a Japanese company. Some background about me, I was born in Tokyo, Japan. I only lived there for 6 months, so I don't remember anything. I don't know any Japanese, but both my parents lived in Japan for a long time, and I think that going to Japan would be a great opportunity to learn about Japan, the country, its culture, pick up on some of the language maybe, and also get some good work experience. Oh, what I plan on doing here is having a series of posts. Before I go to Japan, I'll explain how to, find jobs, opportunities, where you should fly into, looking at the actual flights themselves. And I'll share my experience and any tips that I might find useful when I actually get to Japan. Right now I'm going to talk about flights to Tokyo. So there are two main airports in Tokyo, Narita, which is NRT, and Haneda, which is HND. Like I said, my dad lived in Japan for a while, so I asked him some questions. I also did some research on my own, and I found that Haneda was a lot more convenient than Narita. Haneda is a lot smaller than Narita, but it's a lot closer to the city. And Narita, on the other hand, is a lot bigger, it's more popular, but it's far out from the city. Narita has something called a limousine bus, which brings you to big hotels, which might take around 2 hours. And it also has something called the Narita Express, which is a train. You could consider a taxi or the regular train. Taxi would be really expensive because you're so far out from the city. And the regular train, it's not a bad option. It's cheap, but it will take a long time. Haneda, on the other hand, it has a monorail, which would bring you to your destination in around 30 minutes. And you could also consider regular trains and taxis as well. These would be more convenient because you're closer to the city. Taxi might be around $75, but it's well worth the convenience, especially if you're traveling with a party. So what I did is I made a little chart showing if you're flying from Tucson, Phoenix, LA, or San Francisco to Narita and or Haneda. So in-state is Tucson and Phoenix, and versus outstate, which is LA and San Francisco. So between Tucson and Phoenix, Tucson is cheaper and it's a lot closer compared to Phoenix. And for out of state, LA is a lot closer as well, and it's also cheaper. So I limited down my options down to Tucson and LA. Tucson might have a long layover for Narita, and LA might have a long layover for Haneda, but I think that shouldn't be a big problem. Between Tucson and LA, I decided to do Tucson to Haneda round trip. And this is because if I wanted to go from LA, I'd have to buy a round trip ticket from Tucson to fly to LA. I'd have to spend the night at LA. I'd wake up the next morning to go on the flight, and I might save a couple $100, but it's a lot more process. I'd have to figure out Uber to and from the hotel. I'd have to pay for a hotel room, and I feel like it's not worth the inconvenience. So like I said, I decided on Tucson to Narita round trip. And when you get there, don't be afraid to ask people questions you might have. A lot of the people there know how to speak some English, and all the signs are going to have English as well as Japanese. So don't stress too much about that. All right, that's all I have to say for this video. Thank you.